Welcome, honored viewers, to the epic journey, decoding the greatest historical mystery. Many believe the ancient Maya Empire simply vanished in one mysterious night. However, archaeological truths reveal a tragedy far more devastating. Not by alien beings, but profound human greed ultimately consumed this entire empire. What massive natural disaster turned epic cities to desolate ruins in the deep woods? Going back to the 8th century, the Maya Empire entered a glorious golden era. Hidden deep in the tropical rainforest, magnificent cities like Tikal proudly emerged. Towering limestone pyramids proudly reached high, challenging all boundaries of Mother Nature. Extraordinarily, they built everything without the use of wheels or any metal tools. Through the skilled hands of countless laborers, massive stone blocks were meticulously carved. Leading this grand empire were majestic god kings carrying the sacred essence of supreme beings. The great King Pakal sat upon his jade throne, holding absolute power over the mortal realm. The grand elites lived in extravagant luxury, wearing truly magnificent leopard cloaks. Brilliant feather headdresses deeply showed the unshakable power of the royal dynasty. Beyond grand architecture, the Maya possessed a deeply profound astronomical science. Wise priests dedicated their entire lives observing the sky from the tops of sacred pyramids. They invented the concept of zero and accurately calculated the motion of the stars. The time cycles of the Maya calendar were recorded with truly astonishing precision. All activities from planting to epic wars strictly followed absolute cosmic prophecies. Advanced terraced farming systems provided a highly abundant food source for millions of people. Vast cornfields stretched endlessly, bringing about unprecedented warmth and grand prosperity. The vibrant barter economy utilized precious cacao beans as a reliable standard currency. Epic chants echoed through the grand temples, thanking the deities for blessing the whole empire. But even during its brightest peak, the seeds of self-destruction began to quietly sprout. When human arrogance fiercely oversteps its bounds, nature will certainly strike back ruthlessly. By the 9th century, the Maya population exploded far beyond nature's tolerance. Millions crowded tightly into urban spaces, creating an enormous survival pressure. To calm the masses and show off prestige, the kings continuously built more megastructures. Stifling massive construction sites ran day and night, turning all farmers into labor machines. Tens of thousands of hectares of primal rainforests were ruthlessly cut down for planting land. Massive amounts of firewood were burned for white lime to plaster the surfaces of grand pyramids. Thick, dark smoke billowed from kilns, completely obscuring the brilliant sky of Central America. Ancient records note that burning dozens of tons of wood was strictly required for 1 ton of lime. Destroying forests totally shattered the fragile balance of the local ecosystem. Stripped of the forest's shield, moisture evaporated fast, sharply, raising local temperatures. Severe soil erosion swiftly occurred, causing the fertile topsoil to be fully washed away. The vast cornfields grew fully barren, unable to sustain such an enormous population. the elites remained blindly self-absorbed, draping themselves in increasingly heavy jade jewels. Sweat dripped down the arrogant king's forehead as he noticed the deeply resentful eyes of slaves. Sledgehammers pounded loudly, drowning out the mournful cries of utterly exhausted bodies. They were digging their own tragic graves with pure white limestone blocks and endless, bottomless greed. The fragile food web began to snap, and the empire's massive food reserves were quickly emptying. Intricate canal systems grew useless as humans totally blocked the natural river flow. Artificial reservoirs were vastly expanded, hoping to catch all the sacred rains from the gods. However, severe weather changes started haunting the once majestic and glorious megacities. The blazing sun scorched the dry earth, and rare dark clouds slowly faded from the distant horizon. Facing a severe ecological disaster, could the great human intellect truly save them? Please leave your comments before we unveil the darkest chapter of ancient Maya history. Modern experts drilling lake sediments uncovered a genuinely terrifying ancient truth. Geologic evidence proves the worst mega drought of the millennium violently struck the land.
Its preservation was paramount.
For endless grueling decades, the sky bore only the blazing orange color of ultimate doom. Not a single drop of rain fell, turning lush green forests into a hopelessly barren wasteland. Massive water reservoirs dried up completely, cracking into patches of lifeless grayish mud. The harvests failed tragically as corn stalks withered sadly amidst the fiercely burning hot winds. A tragic famine covered every corner, from torn humble huts to the grandest royal palaces. Tens of thousands of farmers fainted from thirst, their sunken eyes clutching desperately to empty jugs. This dark tragedy claimed countless lives and completely shattered deep faith in the mighty deities. The kings once revered as the rain gods' avatars now stood helplessly, watching their people perish. In sheer desperation, frantic priests loudly screamed atop the pyramids, conducting dark rituals. Essence was offered in vain. Sharp stone daggers gleamed brightly, but the sky remained completely silent. Divine rule lost its true legitimacy, and a shadow of doubt engulfed the crowns of the elites. Plague spread quickly from unburied fallen bodies as swarms of flies blackened the truly stifling air. The sacred jade throne now closely resembled an active volcano, ready to erupt in great wrath. When humanity is pushed to the absolute brink of life, the wild beast within quickly takes over. Trade agreements were torn up as neighboring city-states eyed each other's remaining water sources. Severe resource scarcity fueled the flames of hatred, paving the way for a devastating war. If you were a Maya citizen, then would you choose to stay kneeling or boldly rise up in arms? The line between civilization and savagery is as fragile as a single drop in the desert. By the late 9th century, all the ceremonial rules of war were completely and forever abolished. The city-states fiercely tore each other apart in an absolute total war to crush all their foes. Warriors smeared black mud and gray ash on their tense faces, transforming into highly relentless demons. Wooden clubs armed with sharp obsidian blades swung ruthlessly, violently striking the innocent crowds. At night, fierce flames burned down magnificent grand structures, deeply dyeing a vast corner of the sky crimson. Beyond foreign invasions, the empire's core was entirely shattered by lower-class rebellions. Furious starving peasants stormed the glorious palaces, dethroning the once highly revered kings. The once mighty rulers now hid in utter misery amidst the ruins of their own grand dynasty. Crowns tumbled and jade shattered as absolute epic power was officially crushed into fine dust. Knowing the grand cities could no longer sustain any life, a deeply tragic mass migration began. Exhausted refugees with few items quietly left their cherished homeland to travel far northward. Heavy footsteps echoed through the dark night, closing an epic chapter full of grand glory and deep tears. Left entirely abandoned, the proud temples slowly sank into the fearful silence of the deep woods. Magical vines and roots tightly squeezed the carved stone pillars, slowly swallowing the grand megacity. Though the empire fell, the Maya never vanished. They simply adapted to survive in peace with nature. Their brave descendants firmly clung to the new lands, bearing an immortal and profound epic legacy. The mossy stone pillars lie quietly under the leaves, telling the story of a deeply tragic truth. It is the absolute proof that majestic nature always holds the supreme power of the living world. The Maya mystery is solved, leaving all descendants a sharp and truly timeless warning to heed. The lesson of the Maya collapse still holds its full awakening value for today's modern world. Did this grand empire fall from natural disaster or the price of arrogance? Please leave a comment. Thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to like, share, and eagerly subscribe to our channel.